What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. Alright, this Kurt Angle, it was crazy. Like, he got to show off his wrestling skills much more than previously. He was serious in that ring, and he wasn't messing around. He was straight to the point, and I wish this run lasted longer. If Angle did stay in WWE, who knows? Maybe he could be considered the greatest of all time. But then again, Angle, regardless of that, is still one of the greatest to ever do it. In this video, I cover Kurt Angle's dominant wrestling machine run. Once you heard his theme song and seen him with the black singlet and the mouthpiece, you knew it was over before it began. Some of my earlier memories of watching wrestling as a kid were seeing Kurt Angle. But at this point, like, he was something else. He turned it up a notch. No jokes. None of that. He wasn't even 100% focused. He was 200% focused, and it brought us some amazing matches and moments, which I'll get to soon. But before I do, let me just say that I am launching a second channel, and this week I might be busy with this. I gotta get it off the ground and stuff like that, and so I might have to upload some remakes like the Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho feud and the Hall of Pain. I'll choose one of those videos, and I'm gonna remake them because I'm pretty busy this week with the second channel. I gotta upload 2 videos on there, and so I might be busy. As for that second channel, I'm gonna cover the Marine on that channel. Okay, right now let's get into it. At this point, Kurt Angle was a Raw superstar. He was a heel that was getting cheered over John Cena. As for his plans at WrestleMania 22, I couldn't really find anything that hinted at who his opponent was going to be. Maybe they were going to do an inter-promotional thing with The Undertaker. I know that was planned, but that was only after Angle moved to SmackDown. As for what were the plans before he moved to SmackDown, not sure. Anyways, things would take an unexpected turn for Kurt Angle on the January 13th, 2006 episode of SmackDown. On that night, Batista had to relinquish the World Championship, and the vacant title was going to be fought for in a Battle Royal. Everyone came out, and there was only one entrant left. Then we hear Kurt Angle's music, and out he came. Theodore Long was expecting Angle to come out, but no one did. If you watched this match the day it aired, you'd probably be confused yet excited as hell. Kurt Angle is back on SmackDown, baby. JBL told the SmackDown locker room that he wants a piece of Angle, but that didn't really work out for him as Angle hit a German and threw him right out of the ring. Also, Angle was set to face HBK on Raw, so this was anything but expected. The Olympic gold medalist started off the match as a heel. It was dominating, and during the match he eliminated 5 men. But then Mark Henry got in the way. He attacked Angle and threw him under the ropes before press slamming him through the announce table. In Angle's absence, Mark Henry dominated. He threw out guys left and right, and then all that remained was Rey Mysterio. Rey tried using his pace and high-flying moves, but that ended up costing him, and he was thrown out by the world's strongest man. Then all of a sudden, Angle recovered, and God, I love this moment. Angle took off his straps, and it was go time. He threw several rights, but he ran into a brick wall. Angle, however, bounced back with a thunderous Angle slam, but Henry was still in it. He thwarted Angle's attack, and at this point, he was the most dominant wrestler in the company. Arguable. Angle tried using a head scissors to get rid of Henry, but he was unable to as Mark was just too big and strong. Kurt did have some fight in him, but Mark was still the favorite. Angle tried using a front facelock to eliminate Henry before reverting to the head scissors. This which would pay dividends for Kurt Angle as he managed to eliminate Mark Henry and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Melina couldn't believe it, and the celebration was on. Angle from Raw comes to SmackDown as a heel, but during the match, with grit and determination, managed to capture the World Championship, therefore turning face, I guess. On that week's Raw, Kurt Angle interrupted Edge and Leah's playtime, and he was here to have his farewell Raw match. As the fans chanted, "You suck," Angle started to point at Edge, and that's how it was from here on. Whenever the fans chanted, "You suck," he pointed at his opponent. Kurt Angle revealed that his Raw contract expired on January 1st, and he was going to resign, but once he heard about Batista's injury, he went to SmackDown, and he became the new World Heavyweight Champion. Angle questioned Edge's abilities. He wanted to unify the titles, but it was clear that that wasn't going to happen as Edge shouted, "Not a chance." They brawled, well, not really. Angle hit a German, and now it was time for his match with HBK. If Shawn Michaels loses, then he's fired. That's another story in itself. Perhaps a DX 2006 video. Anyways, Angle and HBK had a competitive bout, and the new champ actually had this one in the bag, but then Daivari got involved after Michaels slapped him in the face. He brought in a chair that didn't meet his target. Instead, he accidentally blasted Angle in the face, and Michaels ended up winning the match due to this. And the look on his face, like, he knew that he was screwed. And the look on Angle's face, this was a rubber match, and he lost, which meant HBK was better than him in the eyes of the fans. Daivari tried apologizing, but Angle wasn't having it. He credited himself for Angle being the champion before slapping the new champ. Angle retaliated with a brutal right hand and a vicious uppercut that sent Daivari flying. Kurt Angle then Angle slammed Daivari right out of the ring, and he cemented his face turn by firing Daivari a few minutes later. Now Angle had to focus on his Royal Rumble opponent, either Rey Mysterio or Mark Henry. Henry sarcastically congratulated Angle's performance before claiming Angle couldn't beat him. The champ wished him good luck in his match before shouting at him. He then said that when the fans chant "You suck," they're referring to his opponent, and if Henry faces him, then he'll suck, I guess. Mark was seething, so he let out all that frustration on Rey to become the new #1 contender. Rey did nearly win the match, but it wasn't enough. Meanwhile, Teddy Long booked Daivari in a matchup against Kurt Angle. He wanted Teddy to do something about this, perhaps strip Angle of the title, but instead he booked Daivari in a matchup against his former client. Daivari walked into the ring for what was going to be a destruction, but that wouldn't happen as Mark Henry got involved, and Daivari did get his ass kicked, but then Melina and Mark came to the save. Well, not really Melina, but you know what I mean. Henry, though, delivered a brutal World's Strongest Slam, but that wasn't it. He blasted Angle in the back with some steel steps, and then Daivari revealed that he was Mark Henry's new manager, and so it wasn't he who got screwed, it was Angle. Heading into the Royal Rumble, Mark Henry had the upper hand. First of all, Kurt Angle faced Eminem in a handicap match, and he kicked both of their asses. Then Eminem used some dirty tactics to win. Nope, they didn't win that one. Angle kicked out, and once he recovered, he had an Angle Slam and locked the Mercury in the ankle lock to win the damn handicap match. That's how dominant he was. But then Mark Henry walked out to the ring, and Angle was ready. They went at it, and Angle shockingly delivered the Angle Slam, and he locked Henry in the ankle lock. But Henry had ridiculous, immense leg strength, and he sent Angle backwards and right out of the ring. So heading into the Rumble, Kurt Angle was downing himself. Like his best move, the ankle lock. Henry escaped it so easily. At the Royal Rumble, Kurt Angle and Mark Henry shockingly main evented. This would become apparent at the end of the night for why they main evented. As for the match, not memorable. It felt a bit rushed. Angle struggled on both defense and offense. Henry was just too much for him, but then Angle finally hit the Angle Slam. He applied the ankle lock once again, but this time Henry launched him into the referee. At this point, the champion was like, screw this. He brought in a chair and he whacked the living daylights out of Daivari. Henry blocked Angle's chair shot, but then the champ's low blow stopped him dead in his tracks. Then the brutal chair shots didn't help either. And Angle managed to win. No. Henry kicked out and Angle began re-evaluating everything. What the hell do I gotta do? He exposed a turnbuckle and he sent Mark Henry right into it with a drop toe hold before rolling him up and using the ropes for leverage to retain the title. But then The Undertaker, after a month away, returned. Michael Cole for the 100th time couldn't believe it. Is it? Could it be? No, it's Batista. The Undertaker on a chariot came out, and Angle stood in the middle of the ring in doubt. The Undertaker signaled his intentions before dropping the damn ring. Kurt was terrified as the Rumble went off the air. Now, a little side note, I searched this myself. I tried to find out when was the last time SmackDown main events at a Big 4 pay-per-view. And yeah, I know they had some main events involving Raw, like the Royal Rumble and Survivor Series, but for a match that featured only SmackDown stars, WrestleMania 19, 2003 was the last time a SmackDown match that featured exclusively SmackDown talent main evented a Big 4 show. Since The Undertaker had a healthy relationship with Teddy Long, he was the #1 contender for Angle's title at No Way Out. After hearing Undertaker's intentions, Angle came out and he wasn't afraid. Sure, he was terrified on Sunday, but now he don't give no damn who his opponent was. Whether it be Batista, Randy Orton, Barney, The Undertaker, whoever came, he'll go through them. Angle said that he's proven time and time again that he's the best in the world, and while the dead man is the Phenom, he's the wrestling machine. And despite not being that similar to The Undertaker, when the bell rings, he doesn't have a soul either. And at No Way Out, he plans on breaking Taker's ankle in pieces. The Undertaker had no doubt that Angle's intentions were truthful, but despite that, he's gonna rest in peace at No Way Out. Then the lights went out and The Undertaker disappeared. Angle was once again out of his element and he was perplexed, like one moment he's here and another he's gone. As for the match at No Way Out, I could sum it up in one word. Legendary. I used to say this a lot in those earlier videos, but I have to say it now. This was one of the greatest matches in the history of this company. In the history of WWE, this is one of the best. At this point, The Undertaker had just begun the awesome run. He started off this run with Randy Orton, and now Kurt Angle is going to bring out the absolute best in the Phenom. And dare I say this, that this was The Undertaker's best match up to this point. Keywords, singles matches, not including the no DQ matches or anything like that. They put on a clinic, and I seriously recommend you watch this, because Angle was a legit badass, and best pure striker Undertaker is the best Undertaker for me. The story of the match, tremendous. It wasn't Kurt Angle who didn't know what he got himself into, but it was The Undertaker. Initially, the dead man targeted the arm for a bit, but then later on, Angle picked the leg. At every moment, he had the ankle in mind. When The Undertaker was on the offense, no problem. If Angle's aware of his surroundings, then he goes for the leg. The dead man did buy himself some time during the match, but then there's this one moment when Angle grabbed Taker's leg in the middle of a leg drop. The Undertaker was screaming in pain, and Angle refused to let go up until the ref reached the count of 7. Like I said, every time. The Undertaker had a bit of the upper hand. Eventually, Angle grabbed the ankle. At one point, Angle even slammed Taker through the announce table, and he continued to thwart the Phenom's attacks every chance he got. Chokeslam? Nope. Instead, it's an ankle lock. Taker did use some holds of his own, but they weren't as effective as the ankle lock. There were some moments where there was doubt over whether Angle was going to make it as champ, but every moment we even entertained the thought of that, Angle bounces back with the ankle lock. Basically, the story of the match, Ankle lock, ankle lock, ankle lock, ankle lock, ankle lock. I know I said it too much, but that's the story of the match. Near the end of the match, The Undertaker and Kurt Angle went back and forth. The champion ran straight into tombstone position, but he countered, however. As he tried attempting the tombstone himself, Taker countered it only to run into the ankle lock once again. Taker was considering just tapping out, but he managed to break the hold. Once both men got up, Angle performed the Angle Slam, and as he tried to hook the dead man's legs, The Undertaker locked him in a triangle choke. He seemed like it was locked in tight and Angle was going to lose the title, but nope. He rolled through and he barely beat The Undertaker. Oh, that was clean, alright. Like, both of his shoulders were down on the mat. I mean, it wasn't dirty. Taker thought he won, but then it was revealed that Kurt Angle was the winner. He grabbed the champion and shoved him into the corner before shouting that he's got his number. Wow, what can I say about this match? I had to summarize it like this because I wanted to capture the essence of what makes and why this match was iconic. It is definitely in my top 5 favorite matches of 2006. Meanwhile, both Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio were Kurt Angle's challengers for the title at WrestleMania. But before he had the chance to face them, he had to deal with The Undertaker once again. This one doesn't get enough love. I cannot stress it enough. Another matchup that delivered, and at this point in WWE, there wasn't many classic normal matches. Chances are the best matches around this time period involved either Chris Benoit, HBK, or Kurt Angle. The most memorable matches from this era were always no DQ, Hell in a Cell, ladder matches, and stuff like that. Well, for normal matches, chances are it was one of those 3 guys that were involved. Now, the reason why this wasn't and isn't mentioned as much, and this is my reasoning, is because of the ending. The Undertaker perhaps was on the brink of championship glory, but then Mark Henry interfered and he caused a DQ. He had a splash through the announce table and Angle steered past The Undertaker, and now his focus was on both Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. So that's what I think. I assume it's because of the DQ ending and how Henry is going to feud with Taker heading into WrestleMania. Heading into WrestleMania, the 3 men bickered during an interview. Orton had Mark Henry splash Angle through a table and he tried getting under the champ's skin. Randy Orton said that he's going to embarrass Rey's family by proving that he doesn't belong in the main event of WrestleMania. Kurt defended Rey, stating that he does deserve to be in the main event of WrestleMania because he eliminated Randy, while Randy himself played with Rey's emotions. Randy called Kurt a paper champion, to which the champ pointed out Randy's only title reign that lasted a month. Angle then proceeded to call Orton a paper challenger, all while Rey Mysterio sat there in silence. Randy called him a charity case, and Rey said that dreams do come true, and at WrestleMania, he's winning the title. Now, the funny part in all of this was the fact that these 3 were set to team up later that night, and the following night as Saturday night's main event. Kurt and Rey spoke to one another while Orton, he was being Orton. Angle let Rey know that in the ring, he's going to treat him the same way he treats Randy Orton. He'll kick his ass. He doesn't give a damn. The trio managed to beat Eminem and Mark Henry, although Randy wasn't really feeling it. Angle dominated despite the ribs, and he tagged in Rey, who connected with the 619. Randy Orton, however, tagged himself in and he threw Rey out of the ring, and he picked up the victory for himself. I believe this was the first time Randy Orton was involved in the match. As for the matchup against Cena and Triple H, both teams had issues, and despite Triple H handing the victory to Orton, Rey pulled Orton away and Triple H pedigreed him. Cena and Triple H won this one, Angle got an RKO, and it was pure carnage. Heading into WrestleMania, it was Kurt Angle who had the upper hand. He was ridiculously dominant. He made Rey Mysterio tap out, and Randy Orton walked straight into an Angle Slam and an ankle lock. So within 5 minutes, he made both of his opponents tap out 2 nights before WrestleMania. He was basically 97 overall at this point. He was almost unstoppable. As for the match at WrestleMania, almost a classic. If they were given more time, then there's no doubt in my mind that this would have been a WrestleMania classic. Nonetheless, it's my favorite match that lasted under 10 minutes. It was fast-paced, there was no dull moments, and it's such a shame that they wasted time on the pillow fight, which I have no memory of, and I did have the DVD as a kid. Like, they accommodated a forgettable match by cutting the time for this one. But on the other hand, you gotta think about the 2 women in that match. Like, they probably dreamed of wrestling at WrestleMania, and they got to do that on this night. Anyways, Angle was the man. He walked straight to the ring without a doubt in his mind that he's losing. During the match, Angle did have the match won twice. Mysterio was tapping out, but Orton had the referee distracted. Then he locked Orton in the hold, and Orton did tap out, but the ref was once again distracted by Rey Mysterio this time. In the end, Angle wasn't even involved with the finish. Rey hit the 619 on the Hurricanrana on Randy Orton to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, looking at Angle, I believe if Rey never won the Rumble, then I believe he would have walked out of WrestleMania still the champion. Now, there was this rumor that he was set to face The Undertaker for the title at WrestleMania, and he was going to break the streak. Imagine this Angle breaking the streak. It would have been an awesome moment, like Kurt Angle, the wrestling machine, beats The Undertaker at WrestleMania. 13-1. Following WrestleMania, Kurt Angle shattered Randy Orton's ankle, and this was a way of writing off Orton. Check out this video for more information. And once again, Angle feuded with Mark Henry, who during this time period began feuds by costing guys title matches. Like, you've seen it earlier with The Undertaker, and now with Kurt Angle. As a result of this incident, Angle's unable to continue competing in the King of the Ring tournament, and he forfeited. When Kurt Angle returned at Judgment Day, he faced Henry, and despite not winning, he lost by countout. Angle obliterated the world's strongest man, as you can see here. He blasted him with a chair, and he fell onto the table, therefore breaking it. Okay, this was the end of Angle's run on SmackDown. At this point, WWE set to bring back the ECW brand, and they decided to send Angle over there to help legitimize the third brand. Angle in ECW was even more aggressive than previously, and to make Angle even more vicious and serious, they altered his theme song to prevent the fans from chanting "You suck." He made Randy Orton tap out against the ankle lock at ECW One Night Stand, hopefully coming soon. And in the beginning of this run, Angle had a great start, but as time went on, he was burnt out. Angle's extremely exhausted and needed to take a break. Not a 3-month break, but at least a year-long break. He suffered a groin injury, and at this point, he was spent. On August 25th, 2006, Kurt Angle and the WWE parted ways. This was a humongous shocker at the time because Angle was arguably one of the top 5 guys in the company at the time. There were Cena, Batista, Edge, Undertaker, and Angle. You might say DX, but you get what I'm saying, basically. They lost a valuable performer. If they had him on a part-time schedule, then maybe he wouldn't have departed the company. I believe he was taking a ridiculous amount of painkillers, and he wasn't in a great place. The best thing for him was to leave at that point. The grueling schedule could have killed him had he continued to wrestle in WWE. Now, rumor has it that Angle wanted to fight in the UFC, and he was gonna, but he doubted himself after suffering that neck injury, and plus, he needed a lot of time to get into fighter shape. So what did Angle do after WWE? He went to TNA. His run in Impact was tremendous. It certainly deserves a video of its own. He had awesome matches against Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and that moment when he debuted in Impact, it was amazing. The crowd was crazy, and Joe was face-to-face with the Olympic gold medalist, and they brawled all over the arena. So yeah, this is Kurt Angle's Wrestling Machine run. He had some tremendous matches against The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, all those guys. And I believe he would have had a much better run had he not moved to ECW, and had he not left the company. But it's not like his TNA run sucked. That's what I'm going to say. Like, it was pretty good. He had some awesome matches. He had classics against those guys, like I said. And yeah, and that's it for this video. Make sure you hit a angle slam on the like button and perhaps the ankle lock on the subscribe button. Peace. I am out.